Hello, Stewart families. This is your principal, Audra Goodman, coming to you with this week's Star Review. For a majority of my career, I was in the middle school, so I had 6th through 8th grade students. And by the time they got to me in 6th grade, they weren't fully human being yet, but they were super close and well on their way. The basics were mostly in place. They could follow basic directions, they could go to the bathroom independently, they could form sentences and hold conversations. And they also would be able to eat their lunch without a lot of support. I had to watch behavior, but the actual physical eating part, they had it down. Now, one of the biggest shifts for me as an elementary principal, or being in elementary in general, was realizing just how many of those basics do actually have to be taught, practiced, and learned over time. I have caught myself so many times thinking, oh, I wish I could go back and do that again with my own boys. I wish I could have been in elementary when they were in elementary. There are so many things about little ones becoming independent that I just didn't realize. So this week I wanted to share a few lighthearted but very real observations from lunch. So I supervise lunch in the cafeteria every single day or most of the days, and it's just a really interesting experience. So first of all, here's some things that I notice. Lunchables, especially the pizza kind, are quite an adventure. They are a multi-step process. It takes a lot of coordination, patience. The kids don't always know how to put them together. It ends up kind of just being a mess, which is kind of funny to watch. Those amazing bento boxes and super tight, cool containers, when they are packed with hot food and then sealed up, it creates a vacuum seal that I don't think any adult can open, let alone a kid, without some leverage or the back of a metal spoon to get it open. And when you pack those beautiful sweet treats, often they're the first and sometimes the only things that kids will end up eating. The second part is watching kids learning how to eat. Little things like sandwiches and carrots, great finger foods, yes. Applesauce, ranch-covered salad, not good to grab with our hands. At school, we are also working on them constantly about keeping their food on the trays and not turning our food into toys or ketchup as paint or things like that. And then also just keeping their hands and their feet to themselves while sitting at the table, making sure they're not reaching over and touching other people's food. And if you're smiling right now, you're probably picturing what it looks like in there. And I'm poking fun a little bit because it's super cute and funny, but there is some versions of that we see every day. And believe it or not, we see it all the way up into 6th grade. But in all seriousness, learning how to eat independently, and also, especially with the older kids, how to behave in a shared space like a cafeteria is a big life skill. They're going to go to family events, parties, they're going to eat in restaurants, cafeterias are in their future. So all of this takes time, practice, and consistency. And at Stewart, we actually do work on this every single day with all of the grade levels. You can totally support this at home by just having regular sit-down family meals. They don't necessarily have to be at a table. It could be at your island. It could be sitting on a circle on the floor. It could be if you're eating in your car before you're dropping them off somewhere, just stopping and treating it as a time to spend time together. Encourage conversation at the table and practicing basic manners, saying please, thank you. Try letting your child open containers on their own and let them struggle for a little bit before you reach in and help them. Practice cleaning up messes, so if they spill something, cleaning it up right away, and include them in the chores afterwards and make sure they help clean up their space as well as other people's, because if you're doing the work, you might as well help out the other people at the table. Mealtime is a great time for connection and a super great way for students to build independence and practice skills that they're going to need for the rest of their life. So thank you so much for your support with that. All right, our Parent Star Support tip is about practicing pause and think. Now, your child is going to feel frustrated or upset, and it's going to happen, and that's okay. Encourage them to pause, take a few deep breaths, and then think about their next choice. So it actually, in your brain, it takes 10 seconds for your mind to shift gears and switch what they were about to do. So you can even have them practice counting 10 backwards, or you could say it for them. And practicing this at home will help them build self-control, problem-solving skills, and that will carry over into the classroom, areas at school, and social situations. All right, looking ahead to what is coming next. We have on Friday, we have an early release for a school improvement day. So school will end at 1:21. So please make arrangements. That is also our last day of our hygiene drive that Communities in Schools has been hosting. So if you have any last minute items you'd like to donate for that, that would be amazing. Please send them with your child. And then March 30th through April 3rd, we are going to have a Spirit Week. I'll talk to the kids about it this week, and I will talk about it in next week's video. And then April 2nd, we do have an evening event coming up. It is our STEAM night. More information is coming, but mark your calendars. That'll be at 5:30 on April 2nd. And then 6th through the 10th of April will be spring break. All right, families, I hope you had a wonderful weekend and you're having a great evening. And remember, at Stuart, stars always rise.